Baker and Broom to jump center. A little bit of a false start. There, that one never got off the ground. Steven Anderson saying, let me throw it up there, gentlemen.
The bigs are already fighting for position.
That's right. This is supposed to be the easy part right here. And again, it's knocked out of bounds by Baker, and it'll be Auburn basketball. Well, that was unique. It's another loud and rowdy crowd here at Neville Arena. 38-2 at home the last 3 years. That's tied with Tennessee for the best mark in the Southeastern Conference. Aiden Holloway, the McDonald's All-American and freshman guard, #1 in white, leading things off. Now a drive to the basket, and there is Holloway at a three. Hits the back iron to the rebound, corralled by Jordan Wright, the former Vanderbilt Commodore. Wright pulls the trigger on a tray, can't find it. Broom, one of the top rebounders in the league, reels another one in.
LSU is going to run, but they're going to be opportunistic about it. They do not want to see this game in 50s and 60s, but they don't want to get into a track meet with Auburn.
Holloway thought about it, now releases another three, and this time he drains it.
Mike Williams comes up a little gimpy there, so a stoppage in play. One thing that has impressed me most about Holloway, I think great point guards have great amnesia. They forget about the previous play, and that was a great example because he missed his first three.
Right. One thing to keep an eye out for, we talked about the home success of Auburn. The success overall of Auburn of late during this 8-game winning streak, they're not just beating people, they're beating them up. So, Bart, what does LSU have to do to survive the first couple of punches here?
You got to make some early shots.
Yeah. 5 on the shot clock. Williams drifting and just throws up a prayer, pops out. Broom with a second rebound. Starting 5 for the Auburn Tigers. Holloway, the freshman. Jones, the transfer, and Broom, the all-SEC big man, leading the way.
Numbers.
3 on 2. Cook all the way. Cook, dipsy-do, and lets it go.
You mean you didn't throw a 3 on 2 out to a three-point shooter?
No.
Man, that was an old-school fast break.
Go figure. Take advantage and get the easy deuce. Broom inside, carves up space, and knows what to do with it down low.
Auburn runs as many different sets on the half court, I think, as anybody. And they're good in all of them.
You see Bruce Pearl had a great conversation with him today in typical Bruce form. Alley-oop pass to Baker. Baker lays it in down low. Good job of beating some pressure.
But a smart play by Baker, who didn't try to do too much with a poor pass. He caught it, gathered, scored.
Broom up top to Holloway. Back to the freshman on another three. Perfect rotation and another splash.
36% on the year from deep. 5 times this year he's made 3 or more in a game. You better get there on the catch.
Auburn fires up 24 threes a game. Pass inside, can't thread the needle. Williams on a steal. Williams on a run out. Williams on the attack and draws the block. Jalen Williams, playing the best basketball of his life, will have a chance at the line.
You're not used to seeing your 4-5 combination, but watch this in the last play. Williams is out, but so is Broom. That's your 4 and 5 combination leading the break. This Auburn team can come at you in so many unique ways.
Williams, who recently became, think about this, the winningest player in Auburn program history. 100 career wins for the senior Jalen Williams.
Yeah, he's playing in his 123rd game today. We're going to keep up with this because as the season goes along, Mike, you and I are going to do some games where guys are going to hit the 150 mark.
Right.
And we've never had that.
No.
The COVID redo has kind of rewritten the games played record.
No question about it. An empty trip at the line for for Williams. And now there's Cook doing what he does best.
That's that drag. That's that drag. Drag scheme in transition that LSU will run a lot. Auburn worked on it tirelessly yesterday.
Holloway up top, guarded by Cook. Around the flat screen, gets it back on the return. Deep three from the logo, and that time a little too far. And there's Mike Williams.
That was like Jared Harper range.
That was Harper range. LSU says we can hit threes too, especially that man, Jalen Cook.
Kind of makes them in bunches, doesn't shoot really a great percentage, but very streaky as a three-point shooter.
Cook averaging 21 points a game in SEC play. LSU has hit its last 4 field goals. Broom, nifty move, but he can't get the finish on Baker.
Nice job by Baker, though, holding his ground. Oh, man.
Cook, full throttle, great ball movement. Williams on a 3, got it! Perfect execution.
That all starts with the explosive drive by Cook that attracted defenders.
LSU off to a great start, up by 4. Broom thought about it and hits the triple. Johni Broom only shoots 25% from downtown.
Got his 8th made 3 of the season.
In a break zone, Baker backing in, kick out pass. Drive and kick. Skips over to right with 5 on the shot clock. Reverse layup off the mark. And Broom hits the deck, and he will be fouled by Mike Williams as we catch our breath on the first media timeout.
A lot of action on both ends. First, LSU with this Mike Williams 3, but Auburn designed to play when you insert him at the point guard position.
So now Trey Donaldson comes in, the other top-notch point guard. Auburn's got 2 of them. There's really no drop-off with either one, and they're both unselfish enough to help each other out and defer some minutes. Same thing with that man, Johnson, who's been around this league seemingly for 27 years, but he's in his final campaign with Auburn.
This is really Auburn's second wave, if you will, because all the starters are off right now.
And the most impressive number I've seen on this Auburn team, 10 players averaging more than 15 minutes a game, and Bruce Pearl says, this is my deepest team, and I feel confident in all 10 players at any time.
It's almost mathematically impossible to do.
Cook bottled up, a rare turnover. Johnson! That will ignite the crowd, and that'll give Auburn a 1-point lead.
It was all about the hard double team at midcourt.
Cook again being harassed. Cook wants to go one-on-one with Johnson. Takes it out of him, and Johnson didn't mean to, but hit him above the shoulders.
Take another look. Here's the double team, the loose ball situation. Get on the deck, you're usually rewarded. That's exactly what happened for Cardwell, and KD Johnson knows how to finish. But again, it's the aggressive play of double teaming Cook, trying to get the ball out of his hands.
Auburn does so good under Bruce Pearl, defending inbounds passes, something to keep an eye out for. They get it into Hannibal, the former South Carolina Gamecock. Shot clock down to 5. Into the hands of Williams. Williams had it stripped, deflected by Baker Mazzara. Ahead of the pack on a slam, a tap, and a foul. Drawn by Trey Donaldson, who attacked the rack.
I love everything about this play. I like Donaldson's attack mode. I love Hannibal's protection mode. Again, another turnover leads to a run out. Watch this. Donaldson goes in, and Hannibal goes not now. You'll have to earn them at the line. Wow.
Trey Donaldson, now in his sophomore season out of Tallahassee, Florida, 6'3", 210 pounds. He comes in Again, the numbers are not exactly what they ordinarily would be because they recruited a McDonald's All-American freshman point guard that plays the same position in Aiden Holloway. But there was a great write-up in the local paper about the fact that Donaldson, the moment that Holloway got on campus, said, I'm going to help you, young man. I'm going to be here to help you, not compete with you. We'll make each other better. Baker Mazzara on a steal, the kick out. Johnson back into the corner, and there's the triple for Baker Mazzara, and a timeout called by LSU. It has become one of the loudest home court environments in all of college basketball, Neville Arena.
And as usual, under a Bruce Pearl Auburn team, it's the defense that fuels this team, that fuels this crowd, that kind of fuels this atmosphere. Another steal. It's a simple pass back to the top of the key, but Baker Mazzara was there for the anticipation, the extra pass back to the deep, if you will, in Baker Mazzara. So he gets the steal and the three-point basket, and KD Johnson gets the assist. Why is that important? For the first time in his career, KD Johnson has a positive to negative assist to turnover ratio.
Much like the rest of this Auburn squad, that has been their calling card. And you see the defensive breaks for Auburn, and they've already forced now 4 LSU turnovers to help spark this 10-0 run in the last 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Dean into the game for LSU, number 12 in purple. He's been a spark plug off the bench for them all year long. Reed on the drive, draws the foul and drops the teardrop on and one.
You talk about a tough take and finish. Jalen Reed. He's kind of had fewer minutes lately, and I asked Matt McMahon about that, and Reed came back from Christmas, had the flu, almost was out. So he was almost out 10 days, counting the Christmas break and the time that he spent battling the flu. So he's just kind of rounding back into form.
You and I have been around this league long enough to remember how talented his father, Justin Reed, was at Ole Miss. An outstanding player, Reed, out of Jackson, Mississippi, now in his sophomore year.
You and I talked about this Wednesday night, though. There's something about missing an and one opportunity. It's a little bit deflating.
Open three from the top, nothing but net for the former Division II star, Chaney Johnson.
Just his 4th made three of the season. But if you can make them, Bruce Pearl will let you shoot them.
The transfer from Alabama, Huntsville. He's not used to being on charter flights. He was living the bus life, and LSU responds. A silencer three by Tyrell Ward.
50 of Ward's 82 shots are threes. You cannot allow him to get his feet set.
LSU taking Auburn's best punch and responding with some good counters here. Donaldson on a floater of his own.
You see how he was under control, even though he played off 1 foot, almost went straight up and down.
Donaldson was a great high school football player as well as basketball. Here's another guy who looks like a strong safety, Trey Hannibal. Well, another steal for Auburn. That's 5 turnovers ahead of the pack. Look out! Five steals for Auburn and an 8-point lead.
Matt McMahon cannot get Jalen Cook back in the game fast enough.
Reed on a drive, tough shot, and he gets it to go.
You talk about high degree of difficulty 2 times.
And a rare mistake that time by Donaldson. LSU on the attack, it's right, and right goes right in between 2 Auburn defenders on a strong finish.
Yeah, Donaldson made 2 mistakes there. He threw the ball away, and then he had an ill-advised gamble on Wright. That's a no-no.
Jordan Wright is such a different player now. Put in 4 good years at Vanderbilt, but enjoying his best year in an LSU uniform. And drawing the foul on the contact, Baker Mazzara. When we come back, Chef Bruce Pearl will show you what ingredients made this great. It took a few years. This is the 10th year of Bruce Pearl at Auburn. That honestly snuck up on me, and I can't say enough about the job that he has done. You made a great analogy in terms of how do you compare where Auburn basketball was for a long time, which, let's be honest, was not very good, to where he has brought it now, a Final Four, SEC championships. You made a comp to Baylor and what Scott Drew has done.
Those are the only two that I can think of. The programs had so little history. And when these two guys took over, and I'm talking about Bruce Pearl and Scott Drew, the program was kind of at its all-time worst. And so, for different reasons, obviously. So, two miraculous build jobs, both at Baylor and here at Auburn.
Auburn had the longest NCAA drought of any SEC program. Now you're just shocked if they're not in the tournament or even the top 25. Approaching the 10-minute mark. LSU, an air ball fired up there by Reed.
Now, Reed should have shot it the first time. He was open.
Broome inside, blocked by Reed. The follow no good, gets it back, blocked again by Wright. Broome saves it, and Auburn will have a third opportunity. Open three, off the mark, and Cook is there to board it.
Yeah, Berman 2 for 8 on the year. Capable, though.
Cook on a step-back three, off the mark, front rim, and here comes Auburn, up by 6, under 10 to go first half. Lob past Broome, a paint touch, and a foul. Wright reached in from behind.
That's good recognition by Holloway in transition because Wright was matched up on Broome getting back on defense. That's advantage Auburn, and Holloway tried to take advantage of that.
Johni Broome is going to be in some elite company if he continues the pace that he's at, which is leading the team again in points, rebounds, and blocks. He would do it for the second time. We can't find the last time an Auburn player did that. There's an open three, knocked down by Aiden Holloway.
Again, the ball fake, and here's Auburn going down the floor a little bit for the first time. When you watch Holloway play, Mike, does he look like he's breathing hard?
No, everything is so calm, cool, and collected. Baker, wheeling, dealing, and Broome whistled for the foul. He's saying, hey, he got away with a walk before that. Steven Anderson disagrees.
I mentioned the ball fake by Holloway. Watch as he sells this. The kick out by Williams is on point, sells it, step back, see the seams, shoots the ball beautifully with great rotation. And then here's Broome, and I actually thought Johni Broome, he's got his left arm around him. I think he fouled him about 4 or 5 times.
Meanwhile, Will Baker.
Now, if you miss 2 free throws here at Auburn, the crowd gets something. So you're going to hear a big cheer here if he misses this.
7-foot transfer from Nevada. The lefty buries the second, so no dice on the prizes.
Again, this is this first wave, if you will, with the exception of Berman back on the floor.
Berman tried a baseline drive. That's not good. Here comes Fountain ahead to Cook. Off the window, no good. Baker tried to dunk the follow, and he's fouled on the giddy-up.
Berman out of control. That turnover led to Matt McMahon's team having an opportunity in transition.
Fans, don't forget Tuesday night's SEC Network basketball doubleheader starts in Tuscaloosa with Alabama winners of 4 straight hosting Mizzou at 7 Eastern time. Then Texas A&M takes on Arkansas in Fayetteville. And congratulations to Buzz Williams and the Aggies in overtime. You and I were watching that in the hotel before we came over. What a thrilling victory for A&M, and they needed that in a big way.
Talk about 2 teams in the middle of the ring just throwing haymakers at each other. I mean, the way Wade Taylor played, he was his MVP self, if you will.
Oh, my goodness, yeah. He played like...
And then Cal puts in Dillingham with 2.5 minutes to go, and he makes 3 straight threes. I mean, that game was sensational.
Baker rims off the three. Fountain fighting for the rebound. He wanted a foul. Now in transition and getting it to drop is Denver Jones, a transfer from FIU.
I hope we can take that all the way back, because the guys should not be able to get the rebound on one end of the floor and finish on the other.
Coast to coast. 8 minutes. Cook tries a three. Baker flying in on another rebound. Baker on Broom, muscles it right on the top shot blocker for Auburn.
Take away the shot blocker's face. Little smash mouth hoops.
We've seen enough of Will Baker to know he's not backing down from anybody in this league. Inside, it's Moore. Couple pivots, back out to Holloway with 11 on the shot clock. Now Broom, guarded by Cook, mismatch. Mouse in the house for Broom, who almost threw it away. 2 to shoot, step back, blocked, and a great defensive possession. They still have 0.8, so a timeout called with 7:22 to go. Couldn't ask for a more exciting. To me, even resembled it, and I'm not making a comp here, but the 38-0 Kentucky team that eventually lost the Final Four, they basically had 2 teams that Cal would play. As 0.8 was all Auburn had to work with there. LSU with the basketball back. Baker has scored the last 5 points for LSU. He's got it here. Going to work. Takes it strong. Make it 7 in a row for Baker.
How about that creativity facing the basket at 7 feet tall with the spin move? That's big time.
Jones rejected. And a great save by 15 of LSU. That's Tyrell Ward.
Part of the length that Bruce Pearl talked to us about that concerned him about LSU.
LSU #1 in forcing turnovers, #1 in steals, and now Jordan Wright draws a foul.
Hey, when you're 7 feet, 245 pounds, you're not supposed to be quite this nimble. Watch the little spin one way, the extension off the window. Man, that's creative. Will Baker.
He was an all-conference performer at Nevada. Great portal pickup for LSU. As you can tell, much more nimble than your average 7-footer. And then they compliment him with Hunter Dean off the bench, who's the ultimate glue guy for LSU. Speaking of glue guy, Wright, what a pickup to get him after 4 quality years at Vandy. Back to a 2-point game. 6.5 remaining in the first half. Williams, backdoor cut and slash, and thundering it home is Baker Mazzara.
That's one of the many set plays that Auburn has. A little false action on one side of the floor, all designed for the backdoor on the other side.
Now a steal by Broom, one-on-one on Baker, gets fouled once, twice, 3 times, and the 2 lock eyes. Baker says, I'm right here. Broom says, bring it, crowd.
The backdoor action is really vital with the timing. Watch the timing of Baker Mazzara. Times this beautifully. The pass by Williams, a little pocket shovel pass, if you will, on point. Mac McMahon says, hey, remember we went over that. And then the 2 big guys going at it. I love it.
Not a bad foul considering Broom is 59% on the line. The all-SEC big man drops the first one.
This is the one part of his game that can be shaky at times. He's 59% on the year. If he could get that to 69, I mean, that's 2 or 3 more points a game.
He was 8 for 10 against the Aggies in a win a few nights ago. He'll settle for 1 out of 2 at the stripe this time. 35-30. LSU gets it into the hands of Cook, who whips it into the corner. Back up top to Cook. Baker again goes to work on Broom. Baker has that one rattle out.
Well, Williams has been quiet so far.
Not this time, and draws the foul. He made up his mind about 75 feet from the basket And he was not going to be quiet anymore.
Yeah, that's the second time that Auburn has had a player almost go 94 feet for a score. The first rule of thumb in transition defense, stop the guy with the ball.
Wholesale substitutions for both teams coming in.
Pace of this game is pretty frenetic.
Now, and you would think that would favor the deeper team.
Right. And
almost every time out, the deeper team is going to be Auburn.
I'm not a fan of not putting guys on the line.
First points of the game for Williams.
Williams says it doesn't matter.
You know.
81%.
It's a lot easier to get a psychological edge on Mark Wise than it is Jalen Williams. I think we can all agree on that.
So true. I resemble that remark.
You certainly do.
Don't you kind of feel like LSU's kind of weathered the first storm,
Absolutely,
if you will?
absolutely. I mean, I don't think they've played their best basketball, and yet they're only down 7. They've gone through a few flurries that Auburn is always going to have, particularly in this building.
This is a different press. This is more aggressive.
And it's going to force a turnover. Bad pass by Wright. He leads to another trip to the line, this time for Dylan Cardwell.
I just don't think that you can put a ball in the air that long. Watch against the press. See how long that ball's in the air? Baker Mazzara is too quick, too lengthy, if you will, creates the turnover for the easy free throws by Cardwell.
And Auburn as a unit is too long.
Yeah.
Bruce has had some teams that won a lot of games in spite being very small.
Right.
This is not a team that has to play small ball. They've got length that they can complement it.
You know, one of the things that you have to keep in mind when you play Auburn, who is my man? Who am I guarding? Because he may or may not be in the game.
Right.
You know, okay, I've got number 44. No, he's not in the game. I got 10.
Anymore.
Okay, who do I have?
This time they make the right pass into Reed, and LSU will bring it into front court, led by Cook. Johnson guarding him. Cook shows it, dumps it down low to Dean. Dean blocked by Cardwell. And Auburn tried to save it. Cook blocked again by Cardwell, and it'll be Auburn ball. And Cardwell's fired up. That might be an understatement. That's more than fired up.
You don't think there's a love affair between this team and this student body?
No question. And again, I realize there's a generation of fans tuning into the SEC network. This is all they know is great crowds at Auburn basketball. You and I know what it used to be. It was not like this. All the credit to the success Bruce Pearl has brought to this program. Johnson, heavy traffic, and he gets clobbered.
Tell you what, if you're going to drive into the paint today, you're going to earn your free throws. Take a look at what Auburn has done over the last 3 years.
That is tied with Tennessee for the best home record over those last 3 seasons in the Southeastern Conference. Both those teams, incidentally, are tied for the best record by any SEC team over the last 7 years as well. Of course, if you know Bruce Pearl's track record, had a great run at Tennessee for 6 years. Joined us at the SEC Network, worked his way back, took the Auburn job when, and I've talked to him about this before, a lot of people said, Bruce, you can't win there.
Right.
Like you won't last. Not many people have, and Bruce said, no, I can turn this thing around, and boy, is he ever.
KD Johnson, his free throw percentage, best of his career at 78%, just made 2.
7 straight points at the line for Auburn. LSU a little out of sync these last few possessions. Skip pass over to the wing and Ward. Ward on a rise and fire. That's a brick.
I just feel like Auburn's defense all of a sudden has sped up LSU.
Auburn's lead has expanded to 11. They're looking for more here. A 9-0 run for the Auburn Tigers. Drive and kick. Johnson gets one to miss. Now Holloway spot up 3. Long rebound, Cardwell. Boy, is he giving quality minutes off the bench.
Yeah, long shots, long rebounds. All 5 have to go to the defensive glass for the visitors.
Under 4 minutes to go in the first half. Alley-oop pass and another foul. As hitting the deck is Baker Mazzaro.
Impacting the game on both ends of the floor. That's the Bruce Pearl way. First, the block by Cardwell.
And he, of course, coached one guy that I think everybody's familiar with in Ja Morant, one of the most exciting players in the NBA, but he's fallen in love quickly with Baton Rouge and this program, and it'll just be a matter of time before LSU basketball is a power once again.
Yeah, Auburn almost makes 8 3-point shots a game. They've already made 6. That's probably a bad sign if you're an LSU fan. And here's the different pressure. Again, nobody on the ball this time. They'll give you different looks at different times.
Now, you know they want to get it to Cook, number 3 in purple. Instead, it comes into Williams and now back to Cook on the return. Auburn on an 11-0 run. LSU needs a bucket here. Baker trying to get position down low. Reed dribbles right into a double, needs help, finds Baker, defers the 3, backing in with 5 to shoot. Baker, 2 to shoot, and finally just pushed that time by Cardwell, who got his hand caught in the cookie jar and then some.
When we talk about offensive patience, there's also defensive patience. And I don't think Cardwell was going to stand for Baker to back him into the paint.
That is only the 6th team foul, so still no free throws.
Here are these special team situations that Matt McMahon talked at length to you and I about.
Yeah, and I'd never heard it called that before, special teams, kind of a football term, but I like that. He also said the get-ins, like nobody defends them any better than Auburn does. That's a Bruce Pearl trait that goes back to Tennessee.
He was way ahead, and I'm talking about Bruce Pearl, was way ahead of the curve with that kind of attacking mentality from out-of-bounds situations.
Reed just has to force one up that time with the shot clock dwindling down. Auburn with a travel. It's Cheney Johnson with the happy feet.
Boy, I love the pass ahead that Katie Johnson hit Donaldson in the corner, and I thought he was going to catch and shoot there.
Mark, I'd have to think if you're Matt McMahon and you're LSU, the biggest concern, Cook has not hit a field goal since the 16:32 mark of this half. He'll try one here, and sports free, and it'll remain LSU basketball.
The crowd on that end did not like that call.
I'm shocked.
Good point. Here we go again.
Almost a turnover. Johnson was right in the area.
You could see it coming.
Yes. Like a defensive back reading a quarterback's eyes. Another turnover.
Well, they are hard jumping that ball screen on top.
Katie Johnson says, let's settle down here and set things up. Donaldson surveys.
Part of the maturation process, if you will, of Katie Johnson. I've been really impressed with the way he's played this year.
Shot clock down to 5. Now down to 3. Cardwell just turns and fires. He knew the clock was ticking down, and LSU has it. Approaching 2 minutes remaining. Strong take and a foul drawn that time. LSU will get a much-needed trip to the free throw line for the talented freshman out of Baltimore, Maryland, Mike Williams.
That was a creative slicing drive to attract the foul and get him to the free throw line.
Williams, flat tire, will get that patched up.
Now, Williams had a game this year where he made 6 of 9 3-point shots against Northwestern State. He's been in double figures 5 times. Solid freshman campaign.
And he's been a part of that Steel Express that has forced more turnovers than any other team in the SEC between him and Cook. But give Auburn credit, they have done their normal job of handling the basketball. The nation's #1 women's basketball team highlights the SEC Network schedule on Monday night. Top-ranked South Carolina playing host to Asia Petty and Kentucky at the Colonial Life Arena in Columbia. Coverage beginning at 7 Eastern Time. He is Mark Wise. I am Mike Morgan here in Auburn, Alabama. Entertaining first half thus far.
Big women's game here tomorrow.
Yes, huge. So an empty trip at the line as we approach 2 minutes to go.
In the Wise statistical category, that's a turnover.
Yeah. Another foul. Every time Auburn takes it to the rack, they're drawing a whistle. Meanwhile, the scoring drought for LSU has now reached 4 minutes and 40 seconds.
I like the spacing that Auburn played with there for Johnson. In order for him to drive the left side of the lane, they had a shooter in that corner, and everybody else was away. So that kind of spacing allows the driver, and in this case, Katie Johnson, to execute that way.
What a luxury it is for Auburn with all these talented guards that all play unselfish and smart. This is this LSU defense, which is very opportunistic. Again, #1 in steals, #1 in forced turnovers. Auburn has only turned it over 3 times the entire half.
Yeah, their assist to field goal made ratio, 5th best in the country, according to Ken.
Largest lead for Auburn, 15 points. Hannibal with 10 to shoot. Skip pass, wide open Reed on a 3. Auburn off and running with numbers. Great poke away by Hannibal. Now LSU on the attack. Here comes Wright. Missed it. Baker on the follow. Missed it. Blocked from behind, but a foul.
A little bit unfortunate. Broom in the wrong place at the wrong time, but I love the fact that Baker ran the floor, didn't assume anything was going to be made. Gets rewarded. But don't you feel like the last 2 or 3 possessions of the half here are really crucial for LSU? They don't need this to go to 18 or 19.
Yeah, no question. And again, this is what Auburn can do to teams in general. They just beat Arkansas by 32 the other night. That's the largest loss in the history of basketball in Fayetteville. But especially in this building, they are able to dismantle teams physically and sometimes psychologically. They need to get some type of spurt here in the final minute and change.
Which maybe speaks volumes to the way Texas A&M was able to come in here and, with 3 or 4 minutes to go, is a one-possession game.
No question. Broom backing in on Reed. Fade and fire. Oh. Wow, where did that come from? Janai Broom working on his game. A junior out of Plant City, Florida, who had a 12-inch growth spurt from high school to college. Baker to Reed. And Reed with a silencing 3.
Well, he was 2 for 10 entering the game and was 0 for 2. Yeah. So now he's made his 3rd.
Boy, LSU needed that in a big way. They should get at least 1 more possession. Donaldson milking clock. Working on Hannibal. Shot clock now under 10. He'll go to work. Up top, it's Williams. On a 3. Got hit and buries the triple. A chance for a 4-point play.
This is a horn set to a pick and pop. And Jalen Williams, 38% on the year. There's the screen, the pick and pop. Baker's closeout is at the wrong angle. Williams with that rare opportunity for the 4-point play.
Over 1,000 career points, 100 career wins, the most in the history of Auburn basketball. and by far and away playing the best basketball of his career. That's how it used to be, Mark Wise, in college basketball. You got better year by year. You stayed with the program and evolved.
Development's not that way anymore.
Nope. 5 seconds left. Cook gonna launch a heave. Pops out, and that is how the half will come to a close on a big-time Auburn run. And the largest lead for Auburn of 17 points. 19-4. That's LSU's game, forcing them. Instead, Auburn flips the script. They only give it away 4 times. They force 8 steals and 9 overall turnovers. Obvious question, what does LSU do to make it better?
Good answer. Win the first segment, period.
First 4 minutes will be pivotal, no question about that. Right quiet in the first half, makes some noise early on in the second.
Great ball fake, gets all the way to the rack. You could see Chris Moore allowed right to get to his favorite hand.
A 1-2-2 defensively, but Auburn quickly gets it in the front court, into the hands of Broome. Mismatch, but Broome coughed it up and last touched by LSU.
It's such a luxury on a press outlet to have a big guy whose hands are as good as Broome.
Williams actually was rather quiet in the first half for Auburn. Didn't need a whole lot of his offense. This guy's never quiet. Broome, though, misses that shot. Baker boards it, and here comes LSU.
Kind of harpooned that shot to the rim.
Baker wants it. Baker can't find it from long range.
That would have been a good way to start the second frame.
Yes,
with a 5-point run.
Holloway, the talented freshman for Auburn. To the veteran Broome and back to Holloway.
Yeah, Auburn does so much out of this 2-3 set. Good hands by
yep, #1 team in the league in steals. Here comes Cook. Down low, Baker on Broome. That's been a great big man battle all game long. Baker got a good look, just couldn't get it to fall.
Yeah, caught it in the scoring zone. That's one he's got to make.
3 misfired by Chris Moore.
Well, it seems like we're at the YMCA right now to start the second half.
Got the A court or the B court. Another miss. Holloway.
The poise that he plays with.
#1. Yep.
Looks in transition, doesn't like it, backs it out.
#1 freshman in the country in assist to turnover ratio. You know I love that stat when it comes to guard play. And to come in as a 19-year-old and lead the nation in that category is nothing short of amazing.
And it's contagious.
Yes.
With his teammates.
Bruce has had such success recruiting great point guards. Many of them too small. Nothing small about Jalen Williams. Nothing small about that shot either.
Playing with such great offensive confidence.
18-point lead now for Auburn. Trying to make it 3-0 in conference play. Cook on a shake and bake. And then had it stolen away. Lockdown defense by Denver Jones. Here's Holloway. Oh! Dipsy-do! Thank you!
Oh, my goodness.
He had no angle, and seemingly he had no shot, but he made it. Blocked out of bounds, Chris Moore.
Again, this Auburn team impactful on both ends of the floor. The quick hands and the save by Jones. And watch this finish. Woo.
That is pretty.
Yeah. We had the same exact reaction.
Same reaction. We have a look back cam. Maybe we can find the footage of our reaction. It looked just like KD Johnson's, I can tell you that. Now, right now, LSU has to be really careful because Auburn is not going to take its foot off the gas.
When Ole Miss got waxed at Tennessee, you and I said the same things. There's going to be a lot of people get waxed at Tennessee this year. I feel the same way about Auburn.
Yeah, so difficult to play in this building. I'll tell you one thing. if there are 15 teams in the country better than Auburn, I don't know who they are.
Good point.
I think that poll needs a little bit of a market correction.
Take another look at it.
That's about as animated as we get as we're trying to call the game. We were both just stunned by the finish of Aiden Holloway.
I had already got the 10 card. I was going to hold up the 10 card. Here we go. Steal on the special teams.
Inbounds pass again. Exactly what Coach McMahon was concerned about going into this game, how well Auburn does that. It just suffocates you on inbounds plays. Holloway on a pull-up. Oh, boy. You're in a danger zone right now if you're LSU.
Makes it look easy.
And a timeout by Matt McMahon.
Well, guess what?
We'll be left with one fewer undefeated team in the SEC after this game, one way or another. Of course, we had another one go down earlier today. Kentucky in an overtime thriller in College Station, losing to Texas A&M.
Broom's ability for a big to jump out and guard out on the perimeter is way impressive.
Wright splits the double, throws up the runner, nice shot. Even that one's not an easy one.
A little Euro step, if you will. That's a lazy pass inbounds.
And almost a steal for LSU. It should bring us to a media timeout. It does. With 15:37 to go, 20-point cushion right now for Auburn. SEC right now, #1 in the country in quad 1 and quad 2 victories. If you look at the NBA, more players from the SEC than ever. If you look at the last few years, the most first and second round draft picks coming from the SEC. So when you bring in the top players and coaches, you get better results, and that's what you and I have enjoyed here the last few years. Strong take, left short, Baker boards it.
Nice job of beating the pressure, but a poor finish.
Hannibal just coughs it right up. Holloway, look at that. Drops the dime off for Denver Jones.
Unselfish play. But another steal and more points off turnovers.
Gotta handle the basketball well against Auburn. Jordan Wright, a step-in three.
He has that ability.
And then Broom beats everybody down the floor for a slam.
But again, who found him?
The freshman Aiden Holloway, who was grinning ear to ear after that latest dime dropped off. Wright hammered from behind by Baker Mazzara.
Now Wright had a 4-game stretch earlier in the month. Go back and take another look. Here's the 3, and then watch this look ahead by Holloway. That's just beautiful. Big fella running the lane line, gets rewarded. I started to say Wright had a 4-game stretch earlier in the month where he made 15 of 28 from beyond the arc. That's over 50%.
Now, he was always a solid guy at Vanderbilt, flash from time to time. They're going to need him to be a star this year at LSU. It's an incredible pickup. His last 12 games, he's averaging nearly 17 points per game.
And he is one of those mini games players, too. He's playing in his 140th today.
13 points now for the veteran Jordan Wright. LSU trying to chip away at a large deficit.
And we're going to have LSU next Wednesday night.
At home against Ole Miss.
And Wright is now playing about 10 minutes from where he went to high school.
Right.
The PMAC.
So many great players coming at that Baton Rouge area, including Jalen Cook, who's been kind of quiet in this game. He's on the bench now, and I wonder what the message is perhaps from Coach McMahon. I don't know if Jalen Cook needs a breather, or maybe this is a little bit of teaching going on. Certainly, if they were going to pull off an upset here on the road, they needed Jalen Cook.
Right, he would have to be sensational.
Sensational,
yeah.
And you know it's in there. You know he's capable, but he still hasn't hit a basket in quite some time.
Mike, how solid is Cardwell as a backup big, though?
Oh,
I mean, he was 6 and 5 in the win against Texas A&M, and all of his numbers are career highs.
What amazes me is Hannibal hits the gliding shot. Everybody on this Auburn squad embraces their role. And nobody is one particular go-to star, but they all embrace their role, whatever it is, including this guy, K.D. Johnson.
I thought Johnson got fouled on the drive. And so did he.
Yes. Hunter Dean checks in big for big.
And speaking of a solid backup big, that's what Hunter Dean has become.
No question. Yeah, we haven't seen his best basketball either, but he's been the ultimate glue guy off the bench for LSU this year.
What did Matt McMahon tell us? He makes up for a lot of our defensive mistakes.
Right.
Really understands the game.
Seven on the shot clock. Donaldson steps into a three. Cardwell, that's just a hustle rebound. Sets up another three, and that time Baker Mazzara, the pride of Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic, drops it. The deck. Auburn whistle for the foul.
Take a look at this, Mike. When the rebound is gotten by Cardwell, here's the rebound. He's immediately looking for a three-point shoot. He doesn't try to fumble it back up to the rim. That's a great kick out, and Baker Mazzara makes the three, but that was all set up by the smart play of Cardwell.
And one. Donaldson. All set up by more great Auburn defense. And Cardwell is living his best life today.
Here's another look. How about the block? He's looking the whole time at the student section. Maybe we can keep it on him. Look at this. This is great.
Cardwell out of Augusta, Georgia. If you go back in time, the 10 years that Bruce Pearl has been the head coach at Auburn, how many great players has he plucked out of the Peach State? Much to the dismay, perhaps, of the Georgia and Georgia Techs of the world.
Boy, Georgia did a lot of things right today in their game against Tennessee.
Yeah.
But Dalton Connect, you and I saw him on Wednesday night. He went for 36 in that game, and Tennessee closed on a 21-4 run.
He looks like an NBA player if I've ever seen one. He's got a little bit of everything in his game. Athleticism, the outside jumper is extremely pure, and he can take it to the rack on you as well. Great pass, slam dunk Cardwell, and right now Auburn just having a little bit extra fun.
Definition of a slip screen. Go up like you're going to set the screen and then slip to the basket.
Steal, another one for the Auburn Tigers. That's 13 on the night. We're in a break zone, and Auburn trying to put the brakes on LSU's chances of a comeback here. Hannibal drops it off to Reed, and Reed just missed it. Now Auburn numbers the other way. And hanging and hitting the shot is Chaney Johnson. Where did that come from?
Again, I've said this before today, Auburn getting it done on both ends. First, the slip screen by Cardwell.
At center court and watching the Auburn Tigers try to make it 3-0 in conference play. And I would say, these 3 wins, they're not just wins, they're statement wins. You go to Arkansas, you win by 32. You beat an A&M team that just beat Kentucky. And LSU came in here with Cook with a lot of momentum, and they've just been completely plastered, particularly in the second half. And Cardwell is putting together his own personal highlight reel.
Take another look. Team defense. The hustling defense of Auburn. The recovery defense of Auburn. It's one thing to try and follow the scouting report, but Auburn has been so impactful in getting LSU out of its element on the offensive end. The visiting Tigers have had no flow offensively. But that credit goes to Auburn.
Certainly does. Ooh. There's Hannibal hitting a 3. Not exactly the strength of his game, but he hits it. There's still no Jalen Cook, and I have to wonder, is he bothered by anything? I see him on the bench, but he's been sitting for a while.
How about Hannibal, who's not known, as you said, as a 3-point shooter, is now 3 for 4 on the year.
Would 75%?
Would you go to Coach and go, Coach, take a look at Cook sitting? This is LSU's first bad outing since Cook has been on the floor.
That's right. That's right.
How about this? You better have amnesia in this league, too.
No doubt. Broome is not on the floor right now for Auburn, but when he is with Hannibal, those two guys went mano-a-mano, Morehead State versus Murray State back when they were both in the Ohio Valley.
I asked Matt McMahon how they did against Janai Broome, and he goes, "Oh, we got him 3 times."
You never forget. And really Wright, without Cook on the floor, has to kind of take things over here. Where else is the offense going to come from? Well, that's a good spot. They're getting 3s from Ward and Hannibal now.
Yeah, catch and shoot guy. 36% from bonus land. And as I mentioned in the first half, about 65% of his shots are from deep.
Cardwell has it stripped. LSU has numbers. Dean, Ward,
back to back.
3. Yes, sir. How about a little run for LSU? They've hit their last 4. Cut it to 19. For one of the rare times today, the Auburn Arena has become a little silent. Wide open 3, no. Cardwell, goodness, it's like there's 5 of them out there. Johnson cocks and loads a 3.
Cardwell is trying to stuff the stat sheet, isn't he? Rebounds and assists, another great kick out.
Ward feeling it. Ward igniting and making things interesting. LSU is on a 12-0 run. Almost a steal by Hannibal.
Ward now in the zone, no question. Little ball screen, enough room for him to see the rim, and the reaction by Cardwell is a good challenge.
Well, you mentioned it. That's Ward's game, and they feel really good about him catching and shooting 3s. There's always a market for that in the game of basketball, and now LSU is 5 for 5 in their last 3-point attempts.
There's a market for that in basketball at any level.
Any level. Absolutely. Think of a guy like Miles Stute, did that at Vanderbilt, now doing it at South Carolina.
Right.
Jumper, no. LSU boards it.
Don't you have to find Ward?
I would think so. He's in the left corner right now. Right to the rack, no. Gets it back. Air ball, not sure what happened that time.
Yeah, wasn't any reason to shoot that. Oh.
Now LSU can cut this to a 13-point game with a 3 here.
Yeah, Auburn's shot selection a little shaky right now. embarrassing exchange because I saw Bruce Pearl point to Baker and Mazzara and say, "You've got Ward." And Baker Mazzara gave him a thumbs up like, "Okay, coach, I heard you." And who gets the steal?
Baker Mazzara, who's from Dominican Republic. His mother had never had a chance to see him play in person, went to a home game this year and had a blast seeing her son play. She's back in the DR now, but certainly one proud mom back in Santo Domingo. Auburn is one proud basketball team, 73-50.
Jr.
How great a moment was that, and how great a story is that to this day, celebrating 60 years of integration here at Auburn University. Right now, the Auburn faithful celebrating potentially would be their 14th win of the year. LSU, before that free throw, was actually winning the battle in the second half, 23-22. Those free throws snap a 12-0 LSU run. Still no Cook on the floor for the Tigers. It's going to be Hannibal, and here's the hot hand and Tyrell Ward. Hannibal in the paint, looking for help. Finds Ward, rise and fire three. That one finally rims off.
Notice Jones was there on the catch.
Holloway back out to set things up as we approach 7 minutes remaining in this game.
You're not supposed to be a freshman who plays with that much poise at the point.
Hannibal, top floor for the rebound, and smothered the moment he gets it. It's going to be tough to strip it away from those biceps. Hannibal is one put-together athlete. Wright finds a clear path, count the basket and the foul.
All Wright needs is just a little space. Watch, he gets around Holloway, and now you're beat. And then the little parade wave foul by Baker Mazzara. I hated those kind of fouls as a coach.
Yeah, it drives you crazy.
I mean, you're not really involved. You're not really trying to stop the guy. It's a hope foul.
And he completes the three-point play. 16 now for Jordan Wright. It's been the Wright and Ward show here in this second half. 15-point game, and now here's Hannibal on a steal. Hannibal full throttle. Hannibal fouled by Broom. Now LSU, no quit in their game. Matt McMahon making sure his team finishes this one out.
This backdoor action was off-timed, and because of that, Hannibal was able to recover and make the steal and go all the way to the rack and get himself to the free throw line.
Hannibal actually came into this game tied for first on the LSU team with 32 assists. Fifth-year man out of Elliott, South Carolina, who started his career with Frank Martin and the Gamecocks.
Mike, you know I'm not a big plus-minus guy.
Uh-huh.
But when you look at Hannibal's numbers the last 3 games, his positive number is off the chart.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I had a game, I think it was the SEC opener last year, where they picked up an upset win against Arkansas, and they couldn't stop him. It was just straight line drives, and he was like a runaway locomotive. Nobody wanted to get in the way. Obviously, scouting catches up to that move, and you force him to do other things, but he's still dangerous out on the floor. Open three. And a rare open miss for Auburn today.
Good kick out, though, by Broom.
Hannibal. Shake and bake off the window and in. Don't look now, but it's an 11-point game. And plenty of time to play this one, 6 minutes.
I was about to say there's too much time to start thinking about the clock, and it seems like Auburn's gotten into a walk-it-up mentality. Of course, when you're getting it out of the net, you're going to walk it up.
10 seconds on the shot clock for Auburn. You get a stop here, LSU could make it a single-digit game, and that's exactly what they'll try to do here. Right ahead to Hannibal, and Hannibal draws the foul. and he will go to the line with a chance to cut it to 9.
Take another look at the last LSU basket. Hannibal, again, that's a good no call. If there was any foul there, as you take a look at Matt McMahon and his reaction, if there was any foul there, it was going to be a block.
Hannibal has given them great minutes off the bench, particularly in the second half. And not known as a great free throw shooter, he's canned 3 in a row.
Well, now Matt McMahon has got the game into a what-if situation.
If you're Bruce Pearl here, 5:34 to go, one more bucket and a timeout perhaps?
Yeah.
Stop the bleeding?
And you've got to play through your 4-5 combination right now, I think. You got to play through Williams and Broom.
6 straight points for Hannibal, who has 10 in the half. Drive, no, rebound, LSU, and out of bounds to the Tigers of LSU.
Nice drive by Baker Mazzara, just didn't make it.
Everything but the finish. The way this game has turned is just amazing.
Hannibal's run the point a little bit. Now it's Jordan Wright out there.
21-2 run for LSU. Wright in trouble. Gets it back out to Baker. 5 minutes remaining. And a foul on the floor against Auburn. That's the 6th team foul, so no free throws. Remember, Auburn led this game with 11:37 to go by 28 points. It is now a 9-point game.
And winnable for LSU.
Very winnable. I can't say enough about LSU staying with it.
Those 3 threes by Ward happened so fast and so quick.
Hannibal to Baker, lines up a 3. And Auburn there to rebound it, Jalen Williams.
You see, I'd like to see Auburn push tempo, early offense, get your aggression back.
It turned into more of a half-court team here. Holloway, hand in his face, out on the perimeter by Ward. A little hedge by Baker. Shot clock under 5. Holloway on a 3. Missed it. Not a bad look. Great hustle by Williams. Another 3, and that time a make by Baker Mazzara. Boy, is that a huge bucket.
But Williams made the effort play running down the rebound.
That gets the crowd back involved. That stopped a 21-2 run for LSU. Inside Hannibal, and LSU responds. 10-point game.
Now LSU is operating where LSU wants to run their offense.
LSU setting up in the half court. Williams, guarded by Wright, takes it to the bucket, and that might have gone off his foot. It did. Quick hands by Hannibal. Great defense by Wright and Hannibal, and that'll bring us to a timeout. Things getting awfully interesting here at the Neville Arena early in this game.
And here's part of this depth again. Baker Mazzara, Katie Johnson, Trey Donaldson, Cardwell, 4 of your 5 players in a losable game, if you want to think of it, are on the floor.
Hannibal remains the point guard with Cook on the bench. High screen from Baker. Ward on the drive, in the trees, and lost it. Here's Auburn on the attack. Donaldson on the drive, takes it right at Wright, and gets it and 1. That's the aggressive nature of Auburn basketball that we're used to.
What I like about this 2-on-1 opportunity was to give it up and get it back. There's the give it up, here's the get it back. But Donaldson wasn't in a scoring zone, so he controlled himself and gave that explosive burst to beat right off the bounce.
Donaldson to the free throw line where he's 88% on the season. Nothing but the bottom of the net. The lead swells to 13 for Auburn with 2:55 to play. Hannibal dribbling in traffic, fortunate to not give it away, and then he almost did anyway. Cardwell, a little too aggressive, gets whistled for the foul.
Yeah, I thought this was a foul. One reach too many by K.D. Johnson. Got Hannibal on the arm. It wasn't the initial play. It's right there.
Yep.
And that's a foul.
Johnson whistled for the foul. That is his third. Foul trouble really not an issue for Auburn. It is for LSU. Baker and Wright both sitting on 4 fouls as Hannibal continues to drop free throws. Sometimes you never know who's going to be the key player in a game. I didn't have Trey Hannibal on my bingo card.
Every game has a life of its own.
He is hitting clutch free throw after clutch free throw. 11-point game, 2:45 to go.
Hannibal trying to deny Donaldson the ball. Make Auburn initiate in a different way.
They'll milk some clock. Shot clock under 10. Johnson missed it from close range. LSU now attacking. Here's Wright. Wright all the way, takes it strong. A lot of contact and no whistle.
Yeah, both teams have really struggled with stopping the guy with the ball in transition. Take another look. Nobody picks up Wright. Watch this. Somebody should be getting to him now. How about now?
Hannibal puts it in high gear. Takes it strong. The hoop and the harm. What a take by Trey Hannibal.
There's downhill, and then there's Hannibal downhill. Watch this powerful little stutter step, if you will. With the left hand off the window, absorbs the contact.
Well, when you got a linebacker body, you might as well use it. And Trey Hannibal is built like an outside linebacker. A chance to cut the lead to 8. 12 straight LSU points by the man in number 0, Trey Hannibal. Still plenty of time, over 2 minutes to go. Those that probably went away from this game when it was 28, tuning back in, are wondering what happened. Auburn trying to find who's the go-to guy here. Well, that'll work. How about Baker Mazzara?
Who's willing to take and make big, tough shots?
One of the top JUCO transfers in the country has played strong in the second half. Baker got stripped. Out of bounds to Auburn, I believe. Now, this is reviewable. It's the final 2 minutes.
Watch 3 White, left part of your screen. He's the one who digs back down and creates that loose ball situation.
Yeah, this is a definite review.
There's the play by Donaldson.
There's a hand on it by Auburn, and then
I think that's off Williams. I think it's off his leg.
I think you're right. I think this will be LSU basketball. Steven Anderson, Todd Austin, Lee Cassell, our officiating crew.
Take another look. I think this will be reversed. I think this will be LSU ball.
If it is, it's a much-needed break for a team down 10 with 93 seconds remaining.
Mike, it's one of these games that both Matt McMahon and Bruce Pearl will have things to talk about.
Yes.
And have things to point to, both good and bad.
Let's talk about this game overall. First off, LSU, valiant comeback effort. I think that speaks a lot of the culture of the program under Coach McMahon. If Auburn is able to hold on and go to 3-0 in conference play, which would be at the most 2 remaining in the SEC, depending on what happens with Alabama, what kind of statement is not just this game, but the win against A&M, the blowout on the road in Fayetteville? I mean, what are we looking at with this Auburn team? Certainly seems like better than the number 16 team in America.
I think you're right. I think Bruce Pearl will have 2 thoughts. One is, I don't like the way we played in the second half. I don't like the way we finished. However, when he looks at the conference standings, guess what? Auburn will be 3-0 if they can hang on here.
3-0.
And he understands the grind. Remember, he talked to us about this morning, the grind of the SEC.
Well, you know, it's funny you mentioned that, because he was talking about the fact, I know a lot of you guys get mentally tired at around the 15-game mark. But think about it this way. We're the deepest team out there, so none of you should be physically tired.
Right.
So that's one thing for sure that Auburn has going for it. There's 2 kinds of grinds, mental and physical. Physically, when you've got 10 guys that play 15 minutes, it's hard to be exhausted.
Look at Broom and how big he is on the ball, creating havoc.
Hannibal has been the story, and he coughed it up. Alley-oop. Auburn gets it back.
See, that's a play you can't make. You just have to be smart.
Broom. Fouled from behind by Hannibal with 1:15 to go.
In that situation, I think Baker Mazzara would be much better off, and Bruce Pearl would be happier if he had just caught it, gone back up, and laid it in. It wasn't perfect timing between pass, lob, dunker.
Broom knocks down the first free throw. You know, Hannibal was really, in spite of that last turnover, been outstanding. And, you know, better days ahead for Jalen Cook. They've got a big one against Ole Miss on Wednesday. He clearly was not the factor that they hoped for today. He has not played much at all in this second half.
But how about the group that was on the floor and the way they've responded?
No question. Sometimes it takes something like that to learn about what you have in the rest of your team. Fountain fires up a brick. Baker gets it back and thunders right to the rack. And that's back to 10 points. Full court pressure, LSU. This is where Auburn is so good, because they have so many good ball handlers. It's going to be Auburn basketball. I can't say enough about Baker Mazzara. This is the first time we've seen him in person. I mean, he is just a live wire. Everything he does is with so much energy.
He's bouncy. He's got great length. He's made for this kind of defensive system as you take a look at his numbers. Now, remember, against Texas A&M, he only had 2 points. And as an old coach, I always hated guys that were, you know, double-figure scorers but are coming off a bad game.
Right.
Because they want to get that taste out of their mouth.
He came to Auburn via Northwest Florida State College. He was ranked the 13th best junior college transfer in the country. And to go back to our Auburn Bruce Pearl gumbo of how he constructed this roster, it's really a combination of everything. You got the JUCO All-American, you got the transfers, you got the top 100 recruits, and when you mix it all up, so far it's tasting pretty good for Auburn basketball.
Baker Mazzara 87% at the line.
Clutch free throws to make it a 12-point game. Hannibal lost it. Johnson will go to the line. That would have been the death nail. It might be anyway. If he can hit some free throws here. Time now, certainly the ally of Auburn.
Take a look at the LSU bench. What a valiant effort in the second half. When things looked bleak, down 28.
Well, here's something you will not hear very often with SEC basketball in 2024. So-and-so had a bad road loss.
Yes.
It really doesn't apply in 99.9% of the situations out there. Almost every road game is going to be a quad one opportunity.
We think Tennessee has deep run potential in them, and yet they were really close to losing 2 games on the road this week.
That's right. Mike White's Georgia team vastly improved. They had an 11-point lead in the second half of that game. The veterans of Tennessee never panicked, wound up winning that ball game. Precious time now for LSU. A block. Goodness. Johnson dives right into the scorer's table. Broom ahead of the pack and finger rolls it in. And that might just about do it. A 16-point lead.
But LSU made the home team sweat.
Sure did. Fountain, rebound, missed it. Baker, follow, and he'll go to the line with 25 seconds to go.
Take another look at the ball movement. First the block, the save by Johnson. Donaldson moves it ahead. And again, we're talking about Broom, who doesn't really look athletic,
right,
but plays athletic.
Yes. Baker can't hit the first free throw.
So you know what that means. Everybody's rooting.
I believe the prize is gooey fries. No gooey fries for you.
No fries tonight.
The fans denied a healthy serving of gooey fries. Broom on a stuff. And that's just going to about do it here. The Auburn Tigers are going to improve to 14-2 overall and 3-0 in the SEC. And we hear the word used, connected, with college basketball teams. I can't imagine a squad being more connected, 1 through 10.
Well, that's the whole
than
point.
Auburn. Yeah.
Connected with that kind of depth.
Right. 10 guys all playing 15 minutes plus, and they all contribute in their own way. A win would give Bruce Pearl 187 wins at Auburn, second all-time in his 10th year with the program. You can't say enough about how he has resurrected Auburn basketball to new heights. 57-34 was our halftime score. LSU did pour in 44 in the second, but Auburn just too much. Another undefeated goes down. Auburn remains 3-0. LSU 2-1. They'll battle Ole Miss on Wednesday back in Baton Rouge. Another great SEC basketball game, and congratulations to that man, Bruce Pearl. 187th win at Auburn, again, second most in program history.
Well, we saw both what was possible for both teams, and both coaches will have a lot to talk about. Both good and maybe not so good.
So many great performances for Auburn tonight. Broom leading the way in the scoring column with 18 points, 7 rebounds, and a couple more blocks by one of the all-time block artists for Auburn the last couple of years. 93-78 is your final score. That'll do it for us, for our entire crew. Mark Wise, Mike